Today we're live in Birmingham, joined by rising UFC star Leon Edwards.
Nice to see you today. Good man, good to be here, bro. Good to speak to you.
Well, you know what? I follow UFC. I'm a big fan of UFC, a big fan of boxing, and I've been watching your rise and what you've been doing. Very impressed. So I thought I'd try and get an interview because I haven't seen you getting the traction I believe you deserve. You had a stellar win. I'd count that probably as your greatest win to date. Would you say the same, or what would you say?
Yeah, I feel so.
In name wise, anyway, yeah.
He's a former world champion, so
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think that was a great win. It was very technical. And you outskilled him. And you know what's funny? When you came out straight away, this is the man who's meant to be the jiu-jitsu man. You took it straight to the ground, straight away to show that you ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was very impressed with that. I've seen a few other fights because you used to fight on Bama also, right?
Yeah, I was a Bama welterweight champion as well before heading to the UFC. So I dominated Bama, and then I got signed to UFC at 22 years old, and now I'm number 4 in the world in the UFC. So it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, what a wonderful feeling. How old are you now at the minute, if you don't want me asking?
I'm 28 years old.
Okay, yeah, no, it's great. I remember Bama because I used to see you. That was on Channel 5, yeah?
Channel 5,
yeah, so I used to see it here and there. And the journey's been very quiet, and you've just got there. Now you're right at the top, number 3, number 4 in the world, doing stuff. But I just feel like you're not getting the traction you deserve. What's your mindset on that at the minute?
At one point I was kind of like thinking, why not me? You know what I mean? But I'm at the stage now in my career that you can't deny winning. I was keep winning, and you can't deny it. You know what I mean? So I'll keep doing what I'm doing, keep winning, keep beating these guys that put in front of me, and then I'll be a world champion by next year. So I'll keep doing what I'm doing and focus on that. You can't really focus on too much of what you can't control. You know what I mean? So I'll just keep doing my thing and just keep chipping away. Really.
Yeah, no, that's good. You know what? You got to have a positive mindset and an outlook. And what got you into the MMA world, if you don't mind me asking?
For me, I started off age 17. I kept getting in trouble as a kid, and my mum brought me to the gym. There was a gym around my area, just being built, an MMA gym, and she said, "I'll just give it a go, just like keep me away from my friends." You know what I mean? So I said, "Okay, I'll give it a go," and that was it. Gave it a go. Fell in love with it, and then now here I am.
Yeah, that's good, man. 17, 18 years of old. That's pretty early, man. But why not boxing? Why not boxing? Why not boxing? What happened? How did you get into MMA? Did you get into Muay Thai first, or what was it? Just straight into MMA, jiu-jitsu, grappling?
Like a week of kickboxing, because there's a kickboxing gym. I tried kickboxing. I didn't like it. I thought it was too limited for me. You know what I mean? And I needed more to like focus my brain on. So MMA, there's so much different martial arts in MMA that it's hard to get. If it's hard to get bored, you know what I mean? So it keeps me busy, it keeps my brain thinking. Got jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, got all of it mixed into one. So I prefer that. But I do enjoy watching boxing as well. But I like the variety of MMA.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to take in because I used to do jiu-jitsu. I was in Brazil for a while. I was in Sao Paulo many years ago when I was a younger man, and I was in America. I was in where are the Jamaicans again? In Miami. My brain goes, I don't know, I get blank brain all the time. I think that's another sign of old age. But Dade County, and I was over there doing a bit of wrestling. So I used to like that. But we came from Muay Thai, me and my bro. Muay Thai is real brutal. When you get in them leg kicks at first, you're like, rotted, hold on. You got to get used to it. But yeah, man, it's like... was there not a lot of stuff for you guys to do that, like your brother and yourself? When did your brother get into it also?
A bit later than me. He got into it probably about 22, probably. I'm trying to think, yeah, about 22, quite later than me. I started off first. Then he got into trouble, so he couldn't do it. So then he came back, and then he went straight into it. He was following into my footsteps. Because I saw from a young, whatever I was doing, he was doing. So now when I was like on the street and hanging around with my friends, he was following the same footsteps. You know what I mean? So when I went into MMA, then he came along and done the same thing I'm doing. So now he's doing good. He's fighting for Bellator, which is like the second best promotion in the world, and he's doing great. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's all good.
So who's older, you or him?
Me.
Okay, so that's good that obviously you guys could have that comparison, have that camaraderie, training together, and keeping the push. Like you lot training together, running together. Me and my bro Dillian had the same thing when he was coming up. I used to compete in Muay Thai at that time, and obviously we used to train. We used to go on really long runs. We used to spar, and really he was a brutal kickboxer in his time. So what I used to do is when I've had enough, I used to just take him to the ground. He's not like I say, listen, buddy, enough. I'm not interested, But he's always been a powerhouse and brute, so it was always good. And I've done the same thing throughout in the boxing career, until I got too old for myself, and then I wanted to go into the business side of it. That I thought, you know what, let me keep the little brain cells I have and stop all this sparring, because he was getting stronger and hungrier, and he had that desire to go in and do that. So I mean, it's always nice that you've got that bond with your bro, being close. You guys pretty close?
Yeah, we're very close. Like you said, the same thing for like me and my brother. I like training with him. I like seeing him progress in his career and how far he's came in such a short period of time. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's good to see how he's doing and to come from where we came from as well. You know what I mean?
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
We came from probably the same place, and
I'm from South London, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about it. So
yeah, no, that's good, and that's that's what I like to see. Like positive step from yourself. I've come from place, pretty well known. You do your thing, but it's about where you end up, which is good. And then you could be a kind of inspiration and role model for people, which I'm sure you are, because I'm saying people around here, I'm sure, know who you are. But for me, I wanted to kind of get some traction and do an interview I just felt the bigger audience need to know that there's people out there doing big things, who deserve traction, because like we've said before, you're number 3, number 4 in the world, potentially an opportunity to fight for a world title in the UFC. And they need to know where to find you maybe, and try and look you up. So I think it's a good thing. In terms of who you're potentially gonna fight next, like what is your ideal fight? Who are the people around you? Just like the top 3 or 4, instead of just naming one person, that you'd say, I'd like to get this fight, and to maybe test myself, or just to tick over another fight, and stuff like that.
Well, for me, I'm on like 8-fight win streak now, which is the most in the division. So I feel I deserve a title shot now. But if not, I'm willing to fight the number 1 contender, which is Tyron Woodley. He's the former world champion. So I called him out, but he says that he don't want to fight me because if I beat him, then you know what I mean. So at this stage where I'm at, I'm looking to fight for the title. So I'm focusing all my energy on a title shot. So I'm hoping this year, if not early next year. So my plan is to be Usman. He was the last guy to beat me 4 years ago. Now he's the champion, Usman. Yeah. So I want to either rematch with Usman, Woodley, or number 3, Colby Covington. And any of them top 3, I'm willing to fight. So
yeah, wow, those are stellar names you're talking about. You're talking about the elite of the elite in there, and you're mixing with that Birmingham's own grown talent here, mixing with the elite of the elite, the names you've called out, so it's kind of, I know those guys, I know those names, and those guys are top of the division and top of what they're doing. The fight with Usman, I don't recall that fight. As you said it, I did remember, I remember you spoke about it, and I think I actually heard you call him out somewhere one time. So how did that fight end? Was that by a decision? Yeah. Okay, so that was good. And that's a good
decision. You won from wrestling.
Yeah.
Back then, back then, I didn't have much wrestling. So with the UK, we're known for like striking, we're known for kickboxing, boxing. But I went away after that fight, worked on my wrestling. I have not lost since. I'm on the 8-fight win streak now, like I said, and so I feel now to run it back now, it'll be good.
That's that's amazing. 8 winning streak, and that's what you need to do. Sometimes sometimes a loss doesn't define who you are, and so sometimes it makes you be hungry to come back to the table and do better and go away and progress even more. And it seems you've done a great job at doing that. Where did you go? Did you go to America?
Fight him?
No. Did you go to America to train? What training camps did you go? Did you go American Top Team, Black Zulu?
When I fought Usman, I went to AKA, which is Khabib and Daniel Cormier, all them guys. So I went away for that camp, and but my whole camp was focused on like being defensive, like defending his takedowns and worrying about what he's going to do. Yeah, I mean, not think about what I want to do to him. Yeah. So I think that's one of my mistakes going into that fight. I was too defensive. I was thinking, he's going to take me down, I didn't really think about what I want to do to him. You know what I mean? So since that fight, I've came back to the UK. I've refocused my team, refocused my training partners, and now we're doing great. We're not lost since coming back to the UK from Birmingham and doing it all from home, really. So it's good. It's doing good at the moment.
No, that's good because it's you both seem to be progressing, and you both obviously getting better. Obviously because he's become the champ, so obviously he's elevated himself, and you seem to have elevated yourself, going to America training, and then coming back home and continuing to hone your craft as a mixed martial artist, as someone who wrestles in jiu-jitsu. And I see you rolling around this morning, doing some chokes, looking good, and obviously like showing in that fight against DeSandros that you went in there and you was, you weren't afraid to go and take him down immediately, to say to him, listen, buddy, if that's what you've got, you're in trouble, because I'm going to take you down now and I'm going to show you I'm not afraid of that. And then obviously you stand up, you can see you're very sharp, you're elusive at your movement, which is very good. What I'd like to ask is, how was it with Khabib in DC when you was in that gym in America?
It was good. It was a grind, I'll tell you that. In America, they're very good wrestlers. So they do it in colleges, they do it from high school, you know what I mean? So it was very good for me. It was eye-opening to see just the level, just to feel the level. Obviously, this is a heavyweight. Khabib is a lightweight, so it's good to feel the level and the strength that they got, you know what I mean? So for being a young kid and to go over there experiencing that, now when I come back to the UK, I know what I need to do and where I need to improve. So it helped me a lot to improve my game and to come where I am now.
Oh, that's good. So did they welcome you? How did they welcome you? Was the reception really good?
Yeah, there's very good people, very humble people, nice people, and I've been there twice. So they said to me, whenever I want to come back. This is your team now, and so it's a good gym. I like it.
Like a family kind of.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Do you know, like when you went to the gym, like when you was coming up as a young MMA guys, who was like your idol you looked up to? Because you know what, my brother is Jimmy Manuel. He was one of the first pioneers coming from the UK doing it, knocking out people, smoking son of a guns and shit, big poster boy knockout, highlight reel. Did you look up to him and say, well, I could be like my man, I could do better than him, I could do this thing, that kind of thing? Because as you're coming from the UK, you must have had like, right, you know what? I want my man's little thing, the poster boy thing. Beer tattoos, knocking man out, smoke. Yeah, that's my gig. Let me take over that mantle.
100%. I know Jimmy as well. He's a friend of mine as well, and I respect him. Like I said, his knockout power is amazing. You know what I mean? And he is good, man. I like watching him, and he was one of my looking up to, just being a black guy and just seeing I does it coming from the same background and seeing how far he got. You know what I mean? So that definitely propelled me and gave me dreams, you know what I mean? But for me, my favorite fighter of all times would be Anderson Silva, the Brazilian, you know what I mean? So being as a kid watching him, I think that's my favorite fighter of all time, Silva.
Inspiration from Anderson Silva. Yeah, the poster boy Jimmy, we used to spar a lot with him when I was coming up. He used to like that left to the body, and a hook to the head. Yeah, he was on it. He had a lot of power for that small little piece of body there. Good pal of mine, you know what I mean? Done good. He used to do boxing with us. The coach we had back in the day, Chris Oko, former English champion he was, he used to train with Jimmy also. Now he became Jimmy's boxing coach when he went to UFC, because Dillian went on to go with Jonathan Banks, and then he went on to be with Mark Tibbs, and Chris Oko continued to train him. So Chris Oko is not a bad coach. He's done his thing, and Jimmy, was doing his striking with him. So Jimmy done well. You got the other pioneer, the old school pioneer, Bisman, and he was doing things, but he ended up losing his eye, which is a sad thing. You know what I mean? It probably went on a bit too long, to be honest. You know what I mean? But he got the paper, he got the sheets, he got to the money, but he's got one eye. It's a bad thing, sad thing. Yeah, trust me. Listen, hey, you don't play with this MMA gig, when you're getting knee in your eye. You understand? Oh, hey, listen, it's crazy, but now you seem to be doing a really good job. For your bro as well, what's next for your bro?
For my brother, he's fighting in November 22nd at O2 for Bellator. I think he's co-headlining with Venom Page. Okay. So he's fighting in 6 weeks, and that's it really. So I'm now helping him out in camp, helping him around the game plan, and go from there really.
Okay, yeah, maybe I might come down to that. There's a young gentleman over there who's in Bellator. I don't know his name. What was his name? Give him a little shout out.
Akon. He's fine as well. He's on.
Big up man like Akon. You see me? Can't I fly? Yeah, can't. Yeah, big him up still. Hopefully the guys do really well. You know, it's got a nice name, Renegade. A lot of good boys down there, strong boys. I see Pierre looking strong, tough man. I roll around. Which was quite, you know what I mean, quite funny. You know what I mean? Because I don't really go. Back in the day, obviously, I was just used to that wrestling. You know, one man on top of you, this, that. You know, like now it's not. It's coming back and watching it is like, whoa, I ain't got fucking energy for that. Sorry about the story, but I mean.
What do you think is harder, boxing and wrestling? So you don't both.
Do you know?
What would you say?
Oh, sorry. I think boxing's hard, you know, but wrestling is. I think if you've got a bit of fitness and you know how to maneuver them and guard and hold them to kind of buy time. But if you've got some mauling little wrestling, man, it is difficult. It depends what kind of pace you're wrestling with, and what you know, what their kind of thing is. But yeah, boxing's hard, Carl. It's just when you're taking all them shots to the head, you can get cut quite quickly. With wrestling, obviously, you get into a position and you're moving until you find, or you're trying to kid them into a position to get a submission. What happens is once you get into that, you tap.
Yeah, exactly.
These little nasty bits of work in boxing, when you can't tap out, they're trying to knock you out. And I watched some this morning on Instagram. It was mad. The guy buzzed the guy, and then like instead of backing off to say calm, he went into smoking, sparring. You know, these guys, I don't know, they're punching themselves out in the gym. It's ridiculous because, you know, you leave nothing for when you go into the fight and you'll punch out. A lot of Americans tend to do that quite a lot, to be honest. They have really, really hard sparring sessions and get themselves punched out. But, I mean, listen, if you're talking about a sport that is brutal, MMA is as tough as they come. Muay Thai is very, very tough also. Yeah. You know, there's really no escape from one bag of leg kick and this and that. But, listen, they're all tough. But I think when you're talking about learning an art, MMA is probably at the top when you think about so much stuff you've got to take in and learn and digest. So, it's a brilliant sport. I used to love watching. A few guys, but like you said, Anderson Silva was one of them. Bones Jones is probably my favourite guy. He's on Pierre Crud talk. I'd like to catch up and meet him one day, maybe. But you know what? I like his thing. Usman, I like what he's doing. You know. You know what's funny enough? I like Darren Till's kind of attitude, what he came with, but then he had a bit of a bad luck where he lost a few fights and stuff. But he'll come back again. He seems to be someone who's quite confident, and hopefully he'll come and take the right fights and maneuver himself back into a championship position. You know, what is you're saying? Obviously, you're not sure what date, but then if you don't get that title fight, when are you out though next?
Well, this is where we're at. If we don't get the title fight in December, then it'll be early next year. But I hopefully can fight in December. If not, I'll make weight for the title fight in December. So whoever pulls out, I'll step in. You know what I mean? So I'll probably do that if they don't give me the fight. But for me, I'd like to get one more in before the end of the year. If not, then it has to be early next year.
And where is that possible matchup going to be made? Is that going to be UK or is it going to be in America?
What, the title fight?
Yeah.
It'll be Vegas. It'll be in Vegas on the 22nd, I think. No, 14th in Vegas. That's it. Yeah.
In America at that same time. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Another thing, the name Rocky, where did that originate from?
I had it from school, from from fighting in school and from there.
I'm sure that was what it was, bloody Rocky.
Yeah, just some road really, just some being on road, and from school my friends gave me the name, and somehow it worked out perfectly for my life because now I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? So from school, man. So it's all good.
No, that's amazing, man. But well, listen, you give these people your tags where they can find you on maybe Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and kind of follow this man's journey, man. This guy is doing things. He's amazing. Check out his fights. He's stellar win against Sandros and many others. And listen, he's the face man. He's the head man here in Birmingham, piloting for the UK. In fact, to be honest, you know, number 3, number 4 in the world. Who's doing it better than this young man here from Birmingham? You know,
from the UK, no one from the UK.
Exactly. So tell them your
my social media is Leon Edwards _MMA. So that's for Twitter, Instagram, and all that. So yeah, Leon Edwards _MMA.
You heard it there, man. The big man himself, patterning. Next time, your brother, you should be here. We'll try and do the both of you and try and, you know, continue to follow the journey and follow the progress. Normally, how long do you go? So if you were to fight in America and your dream was to come true and you was to get that title fight, how long before would you go to America? Would it be a month before?
If it's Vegas, I'll probably go out early.
Yeah, of course, the time difference.
Yeah, probably about 3 weeks, probably. For me, probably 3. Like I fought, my last fight was in Texas. When I fought RDA, that was in Texas, and I went out there about 3 weeks before, and I felt great.
And you felt good, yeah?
I felt good, so I think I'll probably do the same thing again.
The difference with Texas is only 6 hours, Vegas is 8 to 9 hour difference. So it's a big toll on your body, jet lag. So world title fight, you got to do probably something a little bit different possibly and give yourself the best opportunity of defeating and getting your revenge.
Well, I'll get him 100%, man.
All right, so you're going to keep us posted, yeah? On
you know and I know, so 100%.
Bam, you heard that, guys. Double D podcast. You know and he knows and I know and then you guys will know. And we'll all bloody know. The Double D podcast, man. We out. Boom.